So this is the Wuben C2 that I got in the mail a few days ago, and I want to just talk a little bit about it, just my experience with it. Also show you some beam shots. It's been a while since I've actually bought a torchlight, and this was one of the few that I actually saw online through Amazon as soon as I just went searching for it. It was one of the first flashlights that actually popped up, and my immediate reaction was, okay, there's got to be something funny about this. Normally you need to do a bit more research, but I'll talk a little bit about it. But basically, I am very happy, very surprised at the quality of it, and just the features. So as you can see, this light it's about just over 5 or so inches, 13 or so centimeters. It's really nicely machined, as you can see, and the anodizing on the outside, you can just see how smooth it is. It's almost, I would say it's almost got like a matte, slightly matte finish to it. It does have a very, very light shine to it, but it's so smooth. And the threads as well, when you take off the tail cap, for instance, they are square cut. And let me just take that off. Okay, it does take a little while to take it off. The threads are cut quite generously. You can see here square cut, and they're actually anodized as well. Here's the tail cap and the spring. Comes with a battery as well, and that's something I think is really cool because you don't have to go out and buy your own. You can actually charge it while it's inside the torch as well. So this is Wuben's proprietary battery, I suppose, so 4,800 milliamp hour. I think you can use other, this is a sort of 21700 cell. So it's a new type of cell. I've been used to dealing with 18650 cells, but these have a lot more capacity, and they're around the same size, just slightly larger than an 18650. So I'm really surprised at how much charge they actually hold. So that comes with it. You basically pop it in. What you can do, you just plug the cord straight in here, USB-C, and find a power point somewhere, or you can just plug it into your computer. Another bonus is that you can actually use this torch as a power bank as well. I mean, if you've got a battery that's almost 5,000 milliamp hour, you can charge your phone almost completely from flat. So I think that's a cool little feature. I don't know how often I'll use it, but it's good to have it. So it's all IPX8 waterproof as well. Let's just screw the back on. You've got a tail clip, what do you call it, a clip sort of attached as well. And this is quite a nice clip. It's a large clip, and I do find it works well I just sort of carry it straight in my pocket. But when I do clip it onto my belt, I do find it just wiggles around a bit too much. It doesn't have a huge amount of stiffness, as you can see there, as some of the other clips that I've used before. So that's something definitely to keep in mind. Really, really happy with how the front of it looks as well. You can see there's some cooling fins that have been cut out just in here to increase the surface area. And this is the LED. It's an SST40, and creates 2,000 lumens. And there's a few different modes. It ramps all the way down, I think, to about 50 to 100 lumens. The way it works is you turn it on, just pressing the button once, and that will activate the last mode that you had it on. So for me, it was just on, I think, low or eco mode. So the lowest mode you can get is that mode. So it's kind of like moonlight mode. It's still fairly bright. I mean, it looks like around 10 lumens or so, but it's perfect for reading, or if you wake up in the middle of the night, need to use it. I think that's really good, and it's not going to destroy your night vision. So basically what you can do is once the torch is on, or you can sort of, press and hold it. And then once the torch is on, you press and hold it again, and the light just ramps up. Okay, so it's kind of like a step ramping. It just steps up rather than slowly increases. Now, in order to get the light on turbo, you've got to turn it on first like this. So turn it on first, and you double press, and you get turbo. That's super, super bright. really quite impressed with how bright it is. And I'll do some beam shots a little bit later. You can also activate strobe mode from the torch being off. Just double click it, and then you can see there you got a bit of a strobe mode there. You can also deactivate the button. So in case you just don't want it to activate in your pocket, you press that 4 times. Okay, and there you go. It doesn't activate now, and you can see the little W there kind of illuminates, flashes, and to activate again you just press that 4 times and the light will just go on with the last mode, which I think is pretty cool. If you hit that button 3 times, it will activate the little W in there, so you can find it in the dark. It just sort of glows purpley blue color on and off, which is handy. I don't have that activated normally, but that's a really nice feature. It's got a smooth reflector. I've tried this out and done some beam shots in another video as well, which I'll attach to the end of this little video. And I'm just amazed at how far this thing throws with just that tiny little reflector there, something that you can just pocket so easily. You know, it has a really nice weight to it as well. I'm not sure exactly how much it weighs, but you know, compared to other 21700 torches, which I've only got a couple more, it's really quite hefty. And I think this is good. Having that extra bit of metal on there just helps to cool down that emitter, allows you to maintain that turbo mode for longer. I find that the torch does ramp down. It has some temperature regulations, so if you activate that turbo mode on 2000 lumens, it will start to decrease very, very slowly until it hits, I think, about 7 to 800 lumens and holds there. So these little cooling fins help with that, and really pleased with how it performs. So that's really about it. I don't have anything else to really mention. It does come with the charging cable and a lanyard. I don't really use lanyards, but if you're looking for a general purpose torch, whether it's for camping, around the house, even for self-defense, you know, in terms of how bright this thing is. I mean, if someone just shone that in your eyes on a dark night, I think you'd really have been in a bit of trouble there. So I think this is a great little torch. Cost me about $50 Australian on Amazon. They had a sale on. I don't know how much it is now. It might be worth waiting for that sale to come on again, because it's listed for close to $95 now on Amazon. But really, really impressed with this torch. Okay, so we're going to be going through some of the modes here for the Wuben C2, and the first thing I'll start off with is just the low mode. You can't see it. Very, very low into the distance, probably about 100 and something meters. Slowly ramp it up, hold down that button, and you can start seeing that boat be illuminated. Okay, it has a nice, it's got a wide sort of spot beam, and also a lot of spill around the center as well. So it's a lot of useful, basically a lot of useful flood around the side, but it does let you control where you want to look at, especially if you're looking at, you know, illuminating something to the distance. Turn that off. I'm going to put it into turbo now. Let's have a look. It's just a little bit brighter, considering that there's so much, so much light out here. It's really doing a great job illuminating what's out there. I mean, if there weren't any lights on in the apartments or any spill, you really get a lot more of an effect here. I've got this C2 here, and I'm going to show you what it looks like on the eco mode. Okay, so it's barely sort of visible up close. Okay, and turn that off. Now I'm going to just point it straight ahead, and we'll pick up and we'll do the turbo mode. And look at that, it just lights up this entire area. And I'm just going to go do a quick ramping. So we'll start off with eco, and all you do is just hold the button and it will ramp up. Okay. So that's the high mode, and that's the turbo mode. There's a bunch of apartment blocks close by, and I'm going to turn on the turbo mode and just see if they can actually reach that far or not. So let's give this a go. And that's pretty amazing. That one's a bit closer as well. You can see it just lights up the entire apartment block. I'm back home now, and I want to just share some final thoughts of the Wuben C2. I've been using this torch now for a number of weeks, and overall I am just super impressed with this torch. Now, I paid about I think it was $45 for this. There was a sale going on, and I just checked on Amazon, and it's actually gone up to something like $140, $150. So you probably want to wait until it goes down. I don't know if I would pay that much for it. It's certainly a really good torch, but with the Sofern SP35, which is quite similar for around the third of the price, I'd probably get that one if this one wasn't actually in the $40 to $50 range. So, but with that said, there are some differences that I have found with this torch. One of the big things is that the turbo mode is bright. It's really bright, and it's actually brighter than the Sofern SP35 that I bought. I did find it to ramp down in brightness a lot faster than the Sofern, and the Sofern sort of holds its brightness for a little bit longer, even though the light gets pretty hot. So near the end, I think I was testing it, just left them both out for about 10 minutes on turbo, checked it a bit later, and the Sofern SP35 was brighter than the Wuben C2. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're not using it for long durations on turbo, I wouldn't worry about it. You can just ramp it down to whatever setting that you'd like. I do find the ramping system to be pretty simple as well. You basically turn it on, memorizes the last setting. You can press and hold, and the moonlight mode as well is very useful. Super useful. I think there is a shortcut to moonlight mode, so I think you just click, press and hold. So press and hold, and that will switch it directly there. Let me just try that again. Yep, so press and hold. So no matter what mode that it had memorized before, if you've got it off, press and hold, switches to that. So I think that's really good. A lot of torches, the Immolent ones especially, I really wish they just had that addition of a low mode in there to make it usable in very low light situations. So that's really good. You've got different settings on here as well. You can change the W to make it glow, 3 clicks, and it will sort of glow blue. Okay, and you can turn that off quite easily. Oops, let me get that there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's off. And 4 clicks will lock the torch. And I do find that to be quite useful, and I did mention this on one of my other videos, but this torch, as well as the SP35, is capable of burning paper, burning wood even. So I just left it on, and I've tried this a few times as well, just to see how far it could kind of take it. And holding it very close to a table, I haven't tried it on a white table, but like a darker table, it just starts to smoke and burns it. So I was really surprised that a torch like this, of this size, could have that the capability to do something like that. I don't know if it could start a fire, might be able to get an ember out of it or something like that, but yeah, that was really surprising. And this torch does get hot as well when you're using it for extended periods. I find that you can hold it down the bottom and it's fine, the heat doesn't travel down, but as long as you start putting your hands up here, it does get pretty toasty. It's very throwy, this torch as well. I have definitely found with a reflector of this size, which I consider it pretty small, can quite easily throw a couple 100 meters and still have a lot of usable spill in it as well. Another thing I really like about it is the construction. So just the workmanship on the light, and you can see it just even on the threads. They're just cut so nicely, square cut, and you got these nice O-rings in there as well. And one thing I found is that the Wuben battery is a little bit longer than other 21700 batteries, but it still actually takes those shorter 21700 batteries. I've tried one of the Sophone batteries in there, so that's a really good sign. The clip is really useful, and I find if you're just using it as more of a pocket clip, putting it inside your pocket, it's just so easy to slip it into your pocket. On the belt, it's something that I just would be a little bit wary of. I have heard of people having it fall off, but I think if you were to get it in there, it's not likely to fall off unless you're really moving about a lot. But as you can see, it's a pretty basic sort of clip, and it doesn't have too much give to it. Okay, so if you're putting it in your pocket, it's very easy, one-handed, just slip it in, pull it out kind of thing. You can only take the bottom off on my model. So the ports as well, I did try the charging port, and that's such a amazing little feature that you can use this thing to charge a phone or even power something else. If you've got something that just runs off USB, like a little fan or something like that, you can put that in there and power it from a torch, use it as a power bank. So that's certainly a little bonus. I don't know how often I'll use it, but it's a feature you often see in more expensive torches. So overall, I'm really happy with this and would recommend it. Like I said, the price has gone up a fair bit on Amazon. I'm not sure why. I did purchase this one for around $45, but on Amazon it's now gone up to about $140. So, like I said, I'm not sure if I'll buy it for $140, but for the price I paid, around $50, I think this is a steal, and really happy with it.